Okay, so we've got the men's 109s, one of 3 sessions coming up right now. I think there's probably one runaway winner, Rasoul Motamedi, the 102 world champion. He snatched as much as 177. He actually clean and jerked 227 as a 102. So now that he's at 109, it seems like, you know, he's probably capable of pushing up towards 230. I don't think anyone else is going to be doing that. We do have a few athletes who can snatch into the 170s. I think probably Rasoul Motamedi from Kyrgyzstan. He's probably going to be able to push into the 70s. He might even hit 220 kilos in the clean and jerk. He's certainly going to be one of the athletes in and amongst the medals. Amir Azizi, another lifter, he's probably capable of getting a little bit heavier if he wants to, but it'll be interesting to see. I think we're going to, like I said, we're going to have the runaway with Rasoul, and then the battle for silver and bronze might be exciting. So yeah, we're actually starting in 1 minute 25 seconds, so we should probably get ready, and you should probably get back for it. Brilliant stuff. It's always nice when the athletes actually lift as well as they possibly can, and then you get the medal placings. You don't feel like anyone's missed out. That session kind of went as planned. In the snatches, we saw Rasoul working up to about 160 kilos in the back room before he came out. He ended up actually making a personal record in the snatch for him, 173 kilos. That was actually enough for the bronze medal. Amir Azizi from Iran, I didn't see any backroom lifts from him, though we do have all of that on footage. He snuck a bronze in the snatch at 166. But it was, as to be expected, Rasoul Motamedi, the 102 world champion, who we can see over here with this incredibly strong backroom team. He's got Salimi and Ali Husseini in the back. We've got Razazadeh out the front. I mean, you couldn't have a stronger team of coaches around you. He made a personal best. 170, 174, jumped all the way to 180, and he made that. And he only weighed 104 kilos, so he's basically a 102 who just didn't bother cutting down. He'll be 102 at the World Championships. Great stuff there. And then my boy Dongbing Chen from Taipei over there, 165, just missed 170 and 171. But you'll be pleased to know, when we got to the clean and jerks, he did just as his teammate, who we can see there, Chen Zhang, did yesterday. Small jumps, he went 203, 206, huge jump to 210, personal record, made the lift. Phenomenal stuff. He actually made 200 kilos in the back room, didn't he, beforehand? You sent us that video. We were watching that live on the commentary. Brilliant lifting there from him. And then basically, we kind of knew what was going to happen. Rasoul is incredibly strong in the clean and jerk, but he's not going to catch up. 7 kilos difference between him and Rasoul Motamedi after the snatches. Rasoul also, he's clean and jerked 227 kilos in the 102s previously, which I think is the most that any 102 has hit since that category came into existence. So brilliant stuff there. Rasoul came out, he guaranteed himself the silver with his opener, then he guaranteed himself the silver in the clean and jerk with his second attempt, and then his third attempt, 216 kilos. He did 200 in the back room as well, right? So a nice little 200 in the back room, so strong. And then he came out for his third attempt, 216 kilos, to try and move ahead of Motamedi, which he did for a time being. Big lift to him, a kilo under his personal best, but he just, you know, it wasn't going to be enough. Rasoul Motamedi, who, interestingly, Nick, you said he barely made any jumps in the back room. He hit 70, 120, 170 for a double, and then 200, which actually looked phenomenal, the 200 that he hit back here. Max and I, again, we watched it on the live stream, we commented how it's, the word difficult could just not be applied to any part of that lift. Brilliant stuff. He came out 215, gave him the gold easy, 217, just a kilo up on Bekdulot's last attempt, just to make sure he got all 3 golds, and then, kind of as to be expected, he just scratched it. He didn't want to have anything to do with the third attempt. He didn't need it. 3 gold medals for Rasoul Motamedi. A brilliant 109 category. We've got the women's supers next, and then the men's supers, so stay tuned, we've got 2 more categories to come. So that plus 87 kilo category, I didn't have huge expectations for it, in all honesty. Aizada Mabdilda, I know that she's obviously the best in the group. She snatched 120 kilos at the World Championships. 152 was her best clean and jerk. But then there was a new Kazakh lifter whose name, Lyubov Kovalchuk, we didn't know a huge amount about. We'd spoken to her prior. She told us that in training she'd done a 118 snatch and a 150 clean and jerk, so we know that she could move. And then from Indonesia, Nurul Akmal, who, again, we know that she's done big lifts in the past, 115, 149. But what happened was that actually all 3 of them did very well. In the snatch, I'm not exactly sure what went on in the back room. I know that Motamedi did a 110 snatch before coming out at 113 kilos, which is absolutely massive. She then went all the way up 3 for 3 to the gold with a 120 kilo snatch, equaled her best snatch. I thought she was maybe going to go for 121, but she didn't. Apologies, the generators just happened to turn on there. That's what that noise is. Lyubov Kovalchuk, I think she missed her second attempt, but came back, made a third at 115. That put her a kilo up above Nurul Akmal, who made the 140. Then in the clean and jerk, they all just set personal records, which is fantastic. That's what you want to see with these sorts of competitions. Before that though, Wang Lin Chen from Taipei, she missed 125 kilos in the back room, dropped down to 120 kilos and just did a clean, didn't even attempt the jerk. And then she came out and you would have had no idea. 130, 136, 141 kilos, third attempt. She snatched 106, which was a 6 kilo competition PR. The 141 was a 5 kilo competition PR. Great stuff for her. And then in the clean and jerks, all 3 of these top lifters went 3 for 3. In fact, there were 18 clean and jerks, 17 made lifts in that session. Unbelievable. Only 1 missed clean and jerk attempt, and that miss came back and turned into a make. So ultimately, Kovalchuk hit a new personal best at 151 kilos. Nurul Akmal, whose best was 150, that was from 2018, came and hit 153 to move up ahead of her by a kilo and made that. She was jacked up, the whole Indonesian crowd went mental. And then finally, just absolute virtuosity from Aizada Motamedi, 6 for 6, she made 157 kilos. She looked like she could have made whatever she wanted, in all honesty. I think the women's plus 87 kilo category is improving a lot at the moment. You've got your Li Wen, who's the runaway favourite. She's so far ahead. But the number of women now who have pushed into the 150 range and then also into the 160 range, and I said this on the commentary with Max, I think we're probably going to see a few of them push towards 170. I mean, Sun Young Hee, the super from South Korea, she just hit 166. Emily Campbell's going to be able to do it. You know, is Mary Tyson Lappin going to be able to do it? Maybe so. So there are a lot of athletes who are going to be able to push towards 170s. It's actually a pretty exciting battle for silver, I guess, in that women's session. We've got the men's supers next. Gor Minasyan versus Ali Davoudi. Big Davoudi, he weighs 180 kilos. He's a large man. So stay tuned for that. Okay, we're in the back room of the men's plus 87 kilo category. It's very close and crowded here. A lot of retired legends and current legends competing. Gor Minasyan versus Ali Davoudi is probably the session. It's probably the battle that we're going to see. I imagine Gor's going to push him on the snatch. You know, they've both gone over 200 kilos. They're both capable of going well over 200 kilos. We know that Davoudi's in good shape to clean and jerk. He hit 255 in training the other day. He sent us a video of that. So that's more than Gor's ever made in competition. Whether or not he can put it on the platform, I don't know. It's so loud in here. I think I better get going. I'm going to leave Nick alone to film these 2 giants, and I'll see you on the other side. Alright, we're in the back room for the men's super heavyweight category, and I have to say, I'm a big fan of Gor, always have been, but to see him go out and do what he did now, just absolutely incredible stuff. Gor Minasyan is a guy who has only prior to this won 2 international competitions, the biggest of which was the Qatar Cup in 2019. He's never won a continental championships. He moves to Bahrain, he competes for Bahrain, and he lifts here at the Asian Championships, and he put in such a phenomenal performance. Mohsen Dadrasel from Iran did pretty well, 190 in the snatch. He told us that his best snatch in training before this was 200 and clean jerk 240 apparently. Here he went 190. He actually didn't get under the 196 third attempt that he wanted to make. In the clean jerk, I think it was 217, missed 225, and then he pulled out. In fact, there was a bit of a bloodbath. The athletes from Taipei were apparently missing here in the back room. They didn't look great, and then
I think Iran pulled him out to rush Gor out, because Gor just hit 220 in the back room, and that brought him straight out.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, they made 1 snatch apiece, and then both withdrew after clean and jerks. But I guess the top 2 lifters here, Ali Davoudi, Gor Minasyan. Davoudi weighing in at 176, Gor at 150, which is actually very big for Gor. Gor 201, 205, 210. He's been over 210 a few times. He made 216 at the European Championships last year. You know, we've seen him do 211 and 212 back in 2019. 210's massive. That equals what he hit at the European Championships this year. I think he's the only athlete ever to compete at the European Championships and then the Asian Championships in the same year. So that was pretty cool. They're actually just hitting out right now, I think, for the medals. Ali Davoudi opened up at 195, which he made look very good. And then he took shots at 201 and 202, and he did kind of the classic Iranian, you know, jump forward, didn't pull it back far enough, and he missed it. And it's a shame because you can just see the kilos that he's leaving. I don't know what he hit in the back room in the snatch, presumably 190 kilos. I'd have thought Gor would have done something similar, maybe even as much as 195, probably about 190. So Gor had a 15 kilo lead, which is just way too much going into the clean and jerk. We then saw Gor come out at 236. That gave him the that gave him the pretty much guaranteed gold, we thought. Then he came out for 242, which would be the Asian record in the total, having just got the Asian record in the snatch by 6 kilos. He missed it on his first attempt, just pulled it too hard, bar crashed, you know, shot off him. He made it on his third attempt. We then saw Ali Davoudi come out and try to beat him. He went for the 243. He wasn't able to make it. Gor Minasyan is the Asian champion. I'm so pleased for, you know, Esak, who's put this whole thing on. He was able to get Lisbon and Gor moving over to Bahrain. He made the right choices. I wasn't sure that he had, but you know, he knows his weightlifting, which is great to see in a president of a federation. So brilliant work from Bahrain in general. You know, they put on a great show in less than 3 months. This has been a fun Asian Championships. It's going to be it from us. We've done a lot of work for this Asian Championships. We've had fun, but we've got to get back because we've got to start preparing for the World Championships in Colombia. We'll do everything we can to get the rights again so we can put out an amazing stream like we did for this one. We'll have broadcasting more behind the scenes, but I can hear the medal ceremony is going to get underway, so it's going to get a bit too loud soon when Gor steps up onto the platform. So from me and everyone else at Weightlifting House, please subscribe, and we'll see you back home in the UK.